segment, we will provide you with expert advice on how you can exercise greater responsibility for your safety, thereby reducing the risk to your person and property, creating safer communities, and improving lawfulness in Tobago.
Welcome to Tobago CSI. I am Atto Augustine.
And I'm Anne-Marie Degazo.
Today we'll be looking at burglaries and break-ins and how it has affected the lives of the citizens of Tobago.
You know, prior to now, life in Tobago has been virtually relaxed. The average citizen would feel comfortable leaving their homes, going into town with their doors, their windows open, just with the neighbor throwing an eye. But that is changing, and it has us very uncomfortable.
What are some of the safety features we'll be looking at?
In this episode, we will look in detail at burglar proofing, alarm systems and security cameras, fencing, and most importantly, lighting.
Excellent. Viewers, sit back and enjoy. Take notes if you have to, as CSP presents to you another episode of Tobago CSI.
With me are two experienced gentlemen in the industry, and we'll have a chat with them. Mr. Terry Llewellyn of Tobago Securities Technologies and Mr. Kerry Porter of Porter Surveillance. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hi, Anne-Marie.
Mr. Llewellyn, welcome to Tobago CSI. Tell me, now I have a basic home, basic family, and I want to ensure that my home is protected. What's the first thing that I should consider?
Well, you call in the installer to do an evaluation of your property, because each wall on your property, some houses have 4 flat walls, but some houses don't. So that's how you determine.
When you say flat walls, that walls without windows?
No, walls that there is no blockage.
Okay.
To view straight to the back of the house.
Okay, right.
Right. So the cameras, you need to see each at the end of each wall with the cameras that you're going to use. So if you use domes,
and that's these here?
These are the domes with LED lights. That LED lights are for seeing in the dark, where you don't have lights in the back of your house or anything like that.
And why is that important?
Because you could see any object or anybody coming in the dark in the area that the camera is pointing.
Okay.
Right. And then you have cameras with fixed lens, which one lens, or you have camera with varifocal lens, like this one, that you could do adjustment. So you could adjust and choose which lens you want on the inside from adjusting it here.
Okay, so when I'm deciding, I decided I want cameras, right? What should lead me into selecting the type of camera that I need for my specific home?
The measurement of your house.
Okay, so tell me a little
Because
about
you
that.
have cameras that are 30 feet camera, 50 feet camera, 100 feet camera. So you must know if the length of each wall, if you have a house like a rectangle,
Right.
which have longer walls and shorter walls on each side. So you wouldn't need the same camera for the longer walls that you need for the shorter walls.
Oh, okay, okay. And a camera such as this, what kind of lens you're getting from that?
Well, you might get a 30 or 50 feet length in a camera like this.
Okay, good. And this one, what you said this
That's
one?
like 150 feet, so you get a longer distance with a camera like this.
Okay, so that might work for something like a business as well?
Business and parking lots and things like that.
Okay.
Every application is different, so you need somebody to evaluate, your job
Right.
before you buy anything. Otherwise, you'll be buying stuff twice.
Okay. All right. So I have my cameras up now, and they can be either of this nature, depending on the distance, or a longer range.
Right.
You get that. And I need to ensure that it can give me good visibility in the night
Yeah.
and in the day. So those are consideration.
Yep.
What else I need now to complete my package? Cameras. What goes with
You
that?
have a DVR. This also is an NVR, which is more used for businesses also, bigger areas.
Okay.
But for your
So
home,
for a
you
home-
mostly need a DVR, a digital video recorder.
A digital video recorder. And how does this work now? What does this do for me?
Well, you have a hard drive in there, you connect all your cameras and it records on the hard drive. And now you have a USB slot that you could record everything else on a USB drive that happens around your property and things like that.
Now I hear a lot about people thieving these things.
Yeah, well, you have
So-
to either secure them or hide them away somewhere that's not hot, you know, or plug them to the wall. You have a lot of options.
Is there anything particular people should consider in selecting the type of DVR that they purchase?
Yeah, well, you look for warranty because everything is technology and electronic. You don't know, if you don't get warranty, then you don't know how long it will last.
Okay, what about storage capacity? Is that a factor?
Storage, yeah, well, the installer could always put in what size you want. You have 500 gigs, 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte, 3 terabyte, according to how long you want to keep your recording for. So if you want to keep your recording for a month, you put a bigger hard drive, or some DVR could hold 2 hard drives.
Right.
So, you keep it a longer time.
All right. And what's this piece of?
This is the PTZ controller for the PTZ. When you want to move
What's
the PTZ,
PTZ?
a pan, tilt, and zoom camera,
Okay.
right, with LEDs.
Pan, tilt, and zoom.
Yeah, so it moves any way you want it,
Ah.
around,
Right.
back and forth. A whole football field, you could zoom back and forth.
Okay. And where would be the best use to have something like that?
Well, a parking lot,
Okay.
a mall, big areas,
Okay. Okay.
with a security officer sitting down to check different
To
doors and
monitor.
different areas. Yeah.
All right. One final quick question. In terms of cost, we're looking at an average middle income, low income household. What kind of cost to have a simple system that people should consider in terms of saving? How
Well-
would you look at cost for value?
Once you buy a good system should run you somewhere between 6,000, 6,500 for a 4-channel system. If you need more than that, then you might need an 8-channel DVR, or well, if you have a bigger property, then you would need like 16 channels. Then your price keep going.
And when you say channels, you're talking about the number of cameras. Tell me about
Yeah,
what's
the
that
number
channel thing.
of the number of cameras, because each channel records each camera.
Okay.
So you could only put one camera to a channel. So that's how much cameras you have. Then that's the size of DVR you need.
Okay. And what should be a minimum consideration for cameras? Number four.
Yeah.
Should be a
Yeah. Once you have 4 straight walls, 4. Because most people don't really need cameras inside.
Right.
So just the outside area.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Llewellyn. It has been nice chatting with you. And
Nice
thank
to
you for
meet you.
sharing your professional and your expert view on this issue. And we do hope we are able to inspire our viewers into selection of this hardware so that they can be safer.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, so Mr. Porter, we looked at the cameras on the outside, and now I want you to tell us about the alarm systems. We learned earlier that it's important to have that as well, so that if somebody in fact breaks into your home, you can raise an alarm. Somebody can come to your aid. Where do you put those things?
Well, it's a very good question. Now, this is a DSC system, right? It's an alarm
Right.
system. I must say the alarm and the cameras go hand in hand.
Okay.
Because if the alarms fire and you get a message to your phone saying, well, okay, my front door has been violated, you could always check your camera system So they both go hand in hand.
Back up a little bit. You used a word there that I'm not sure what you're talking about. You said if the cameras fire.
If the alarm fires.
Or if the alarm fires. What's that? What are you talking about?
Well, in the technical term, if the alarm goes off, it fires.
Okay.
So
good.
basically, so when I say the alarm fired, it means probably a door or a window has been violated.
Okay, good.
Well, so we're just going to touch very fast on this here. This is your basic keypad. What you do, what an installer do, is they install this. So it look nice?
Alright.
This is a motion sensor.
Okay.
Anything that, if the window breaks, it triggers it.
And this will go where?
This would go at the side of your wall at the corner here, via the corner.
Okay.
Right? The installer would install it here. So if someone comes through the window, it picks up the signal and it triggers the alarm.
So you need to have a lot of that then?
No, basically this cover the room, a very large room, you know, probably 50 square meters or so. Yeah, very large room. This would cover the room.
Okay.
You know, also what you would do, you will have a contact here, right? So the door opens, the contact's removed, and the alarm fires. This is your keypad that goes in the corner here. So when you come in, you would have probably 15 seconds or so to punch in your code. So when you punch in your code, it just disarms the alarm and you go about your business.
Is it important which side of your door you put it on?
No, it's not important basically. You can put it anywhere where you can reach it at least in 15 seconds or 20 seconds the most before the alarm fires. Right, so this is a DSC system. Basically, you can monitor if there is a smoke or something is on fire. You with a smoke detector. You would have it installed not close to the kitchen because most times, I mean, like you probably would burn something and it would go up in, I don't know, I'm saying. So it would fire. But so an installer basically puts it away from the kitchen, in the hall, in bedrooms, and in the storerooms.
Okay, so you're saying that can be wired into this keypad as well?
Yes, it can, ma'am.
Okay, okay, good.
Right, so this is, as I said, this is something every owner should have. And it is very important, at least, to have a security system installed in your house, so anybody can think about it.
So what are we looking at in terms of cost for setting up something like this, just so that our viewers appreciate what they need to put aside to secure their homes?
It's very small, very, very small. I wouldn't want to divulge a monetary cost as to upset anyone, but it's not. It wouldn't cost a lot. It's a little over $3,000 for a simple system, and it's very handy, effective, and useful.
Okay.
You know, because also it have a siren outside, so when it fires, people are in the area would know that you have an alarm system, and burglars will think twice about coming in your home. So some of the things that is very good, important. I mean, your family is worth a lot, and I don't think it's going to cost you anything to spend a bit of money to install these systems.
All right.
This basically is installation because of the height where it can be tampered with. It goes into a box, straight into a pipe, and then straight into the roof.
Yeah, but remember you said people shouldn't be able to cover this, and look, I'm very short, and I could almost reach this.
Right, you could almost reach it, but you can't put something over it to come down.
Okay, because of the shape of it.
Yes, and you see the dimension of the house, basically, if it goes higher, you have the AC and the pipes will basically be blocking everything.
Oh, right.
So you need it in an angle. So sometimes there are give and take situations in these instances.
So you have to consider what you have around
the obstacles around you. Some people would have a tank and stuff, so you have to come out a bit. So for this here, you have to put a dome camera. You cannot put a bullet camera. Because the bullet camera could easily be taken down. But the installer, which I must say is Portal Surveillance, installer is very, very strong, so it's solid here. It cannot be moved.
Alright, and your wiring is
in the box and also straight in the trunk, the pipe, straight up. When an installer installing a camera for you, always just go around and shake it to make sure that everything is secure firmly on the wall. Okay, so there are instances where the houses have a little gap here, as you can see.
Right.
So that means you have a dead spot here.
Yes.
So as we are currently installing here, and the client's supposed to be contacting the installer here.
Yes, so you're saying that this camera will not pick up, let's suppose I go in the corner here, it will pick up to there.
It will pick up here, but it would not pick up here.
Right, okay,
right.
Okay.
So we spoke to the client and they say they're going to install the next camera here very shortly because this would be a dead spot.
Right.
So more likely we have to install next camera here. So there are buildings and houses like this. Basically, you will have these instances.
So which means this is really making the point that you can't go in the store and just pick up something and buy.
Exactly. You just can't go pick up a package and buy. It's always
Right.
good to contact an installer.
Right. So you have to look at the shape of your house, where the dead spots, as you say,
Yes.
are, and so on. Okay.
You see, these days
So-
houses are not building square,
Right.
right? And very good example, whereas we have a tank here and the camera here.
Yeah.
So we do need the other camera to be here to cover that
To
spot,
cover this.
because perpetuity could always come right here.
Right. And you won't get any visual of that person
get
at
any
all
visual of that
because
person.
the tank is
The tank-
now blocking.
The tank is now blocking.
Okay, so in a case like that, what would you advise the person to do?
Well, as I advised the client before, we need to install another camera here.
That will pick up this area.
This area that is you're not seeing on the system.
Okay, okay.
But what you can do, what most clients do basically is they would put in 4 cameras and eventually